Okay, all Space-Time Smackdown cards revealed. The new set Space-Time Smackdown for Pokemon Pocket does release January 30th. That's today when this video is going to be posted. We're going to take a look at these cards and see if there's anything that we really think is going to switch up the meta and be very interesting. We know that there's 207 cards in the set, and it does include 3 new Pokemon tool cards, which if you've played Pocket, you know tool cards haven't quite yet been introduced. So this is the introduction of tool cards in Pokemon Pocket. They're cards that you attach to Pokemon and they stay attached to your Pokemon. We have trainer cards, supporters, item cards, but we don't have Pokemon tools yet. Excited to see these first Pokemon tools. But let's just start looking through them. The Oddish, these ones don't really excite me too much. Oddish Gloom. The Blossom is really strong though. 2 energy and it does 80 damage. And it has 130 HP. That's almost as strong as the Pikachu. The only thing is, it's a stage 2. You have to build it up. The Pikachu, obviously, you just throw it out there and it's ready to rock. But 2 energies for 80 damage is still pretty good. And also, another card that I wanted to talk about was this Tangela and Tangrowth. This card is very reminiscent of the Venusaur EX that I use. It's one of my strongest decks. I love the Venusaur EX. The healing deck. This takes 4 energies and you heal 30 damage. I'm going to be using this in a deck and seeing how it goes. The Yanma and the Yanmega EX, the only thing that's really interesting about these 2 cards is they're completely colorless. The energies you use are colorless energies, so you can really throw these in any deck you want. Kricketune is pretty good. It makes your opponent's active Pokemon confused. We have not seen Confusion used in Pokemon Pocket, so this is a new status effect that we're going to see. I'm very interested to see how it's going to work in Pocket. Because in the video games, when you get confused, a lot of times your Pokemon attacks itself. I don't know if that's going to be happening in Pocket, but that would be sick. Wormadam. Combee is pretty cool. Put 1 random basic Pokemon from your deck onto your bench, so you can use it like a Pokeball if you draw it early. The Mo Rotom, flip a coin. If heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. The Mo Rotom is kind of broken. And this Shaman, I wanted to talk about this Shaman card because it is super useful. I'm actually going to throw it into my Venusaur deck as well because of the ability that it has, Fragrant Flower Garden. Once during your turn, you may heal 10 damage from each of your Pokemon, which is honestly pretty crazy. I used the Butterfree in my Venusaur deck, and it heals 20 damage to each of your Pokemon, but you have to set it up and build it. In most games, I honestly don't even get it. It's hard to get. So the Shaman will be nice. You can just throw it right in and it's healing Pokemon right off the bat. This is going to be nice. This is going to be nice for a lot of people's decks, I think. The Magmar. And finally, we have the Magmortar. We can finally evolve our Magmar. This is the 3rd different Magmar card that's already been released in Pokemon Pocket. But this one, you add energy to the Magmar and then it sets up this Magmortar. There's a bunch of grass, a bunch of water, but not very much fire, just like in Gen 4, actually, which is kind of crazy. Gen 4 is notorious for having very little fire Pokemon. Very few fire Pokemon, I should say. But this Infernape is going to compete with the Charizard. This thing is beast. Flare Blitz, only 2 fire energies, and it does 140 damage. You do have to discard all of your fire energy, but it sets up way faster than the Charizard. The only thing is you can't stack a whole bunch of energies on it like you could with the Charizard. Still, I think it's going to be fun to see Infernape decks against Charizard decks. And the Swinub, Pillow-Swine, and Mamoswine are very cool. The good thing about this guy is the Thick Fat ability. Takes negative 30 damage from fire attacks or water attacks. And the Pillow-Swine has the same ability. It just is minus 20 instead of minus 30. Then my boy, Piplup. Very cute artwork. Love this guy. And honestly, I think the Empoleon could be usable, gang. This card does not look bad. It's 3 energy, and it does 80 damage plus 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. It kind of saddens me to say, but it is a little bit like We have Articuno at home. You know? Like Walmart brand Articuno. A little bit. Although, that pains me to say, chat. You know it does. And then the Palkia EX. Honestly, it doesn't look as broken as I was hoping it would look. So you discard 3 water energy from this Pokemon, and the attack also does 20 damage to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. I mean, that's a lot of damage. It's 4 energy to set up, and then you have to discard 3 energy. It seems like it would be very tough to use. So I don't know. I want to use it, but I don't know if I can. Then the Electabuzz, which we can now evolve. Shout out to Gen 4. Electivire. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached, this attack does 80 more damage. So this can do a ton of damage. 120 damage. You just have to use the Electabuzz. It's the same way that the Magmar and the Magmortar work. The Electabuzz uses its move to get more energy, and then you evolve, and bang, you can whack them. Love Pachirisu. I love Gen 4, guys. Gen 4 is my absolute favorite, so this set really speaks to me. So if you add a Pokemon tool to this Pokemon, the attack does 40 more damage. So it does 80 damage with 2 energies. It is a basic Pokemon. It's a lot like the Pikachu, except instead of having to have a full bench, you have to have a tool attached to the Pachirisu. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Then we have the Togepi line. Togepi, Togetic, and Togekiss. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Overdrive Smash attack does 60 more damage. So it does 60 the first time you use it. Then the second time you use it, it does 120. Oh. This card is broken. This card is broken. I'm going to run a Cynthia deck. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Anyway. Mischievous and the Mismagius. Oh, it does 70 damage and it confuses. That's pretty strong. Mismagius EX, 70 damage, and it confuses the opponent's active Pokemon. As often as you like during your turn, you may choose one of your Pokemon that has damage on it and move all of the damage to this Pokemon. So you can basically heal your EXs and bring all your damage onto that Dusknoir. That's pretty useful. And now the Giratina. In general, the Levitate ability, this Pokemon has any energy attached. It has no retreat cost. That's pretty good. It can retreat anytime. 3 energies for 70 damage though. I mean, I'm not trying to hate, but it doesn't seem like it would be that strong. There's some darkness cards in this set that I think will absolutely wreck Giratina. I don't know. I don't see this card being super usable, but if you guys think differently, let me know. Moonlight Gain, 50 damage, heals 20 damage to this Pokemon. This is a nice healing Pokemon here. Would be cool to just throw into like any Psychic deck. You can just throw 2 in. You don't need any other cards with it, and it could do work. Mountain Swing. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. That sounds really not great. You have to discard the top 3 cards of your deck? That could be bad. I don't know if I can use this Rhyperior. Cranidos, Rampardos. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, this Pokemon also does 50 damage to itself. But 1 energy to do 130 damage? Yo, that hits hard. Cranidos and Rampardos hit really hard. Riolu, 20 jab, okay. The Lucario, Fighting Coach ability. Attacks used by your fighting Pokemon do plus 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Oh my goodness. 1 energy does 150 damage if you have this Lucario sitting. Yeah, Lucario and Rampardos might be a deadly duo. When I did Gen 4 back in the day, Lucario, Rampardos. When I replayed it, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Lucario, Rampardos on my team, no doubt. Always on my team. Anyway, okay, the Gallade EX. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Ooh. Any matchup where your opponent has to stack up energy on their Pokemon, this would be good for. And this Weavile EX, dude, this is going to be the Mewtwo Slayer. This card is going to be the Mewtwo Slayer. Scratching Nails does 30 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon has damage on it, it does 40 more damage. So it does 70 damage with 1 energy. The Darkness cards are my favorite of the set. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. This is nothing new. But this Spiritomb card has got a lot of people talking. This attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, and it just takes 1 colorless energy. So people are going to be throwing this into a lot of decks, I think. Scorpy and the Drapion. Nice. Flip 4 coins. This attack does 40 damage for each heads. If at least 2 of them are heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. This card seems broken. I mean, it can hit for 80, 120, 160. It can hit for 160 and poison the opponent. I mean, that's probably not going to happen very often, but if it hits twice, it does 80 and poisons. The Drapion is mean. These are some, dude, they're really stretching the meta with this. They're adding a lot of different elements, and I like it a lot. The Darkrai, Dark Void. This is just the regular Darkrai. There's also a Darkrai EX, but the regular Darkrai, 3 energy, does 60 damage, and makes the opponent's Pokemon go to sleep. The Darkrai EX is even better. This ability is amazing. Nightmare Aura. Darkrai has that Nightmare Aura. Whenever you attach a dark energy from your energy zone to this Pokemon, do 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So you do damage by adding energy to the Darkrai. And then once he gets 3 energy, he's doing 80 damage. This might be the actual Mewtwo Destroyer. So I'm excited to see that. And the Dialga EX. Daddy Dialga, baby. Take 2 steel energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. 4 energies for 100 damage. I don't think this card is that broken either, dude. Just like the Palkia, I honestly don't see me running this. I'm sorry. I love Daddy Dialga, but I don't see me running this. Ooh, I can't wait to talk about this Pokemon here. The Gibble, the Gabite, and the Garchomp. The Reckless Shearing ability. You must discard a card from your hand in order to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may draw a card. That's very sick. You can get rid of cards you don't want and pick up cards you do want. And it attacks for 100 damage with just 2 energies. The only unfortunate thing is it's a water energy and a fighting energy. So that's going to be kind of weird. So we got the Lickitung here and the Licky Licky EX, which is a super dope card. 4 colorless energies. You use Licking Fury, which does 100 damage, but you flip a coin until you get tails, and the attack does 40 more damage for each heads that you get. You could see some crazy numbers with this card. I think I'm going to try and build a deck with this thing, the Licky Licky. What do you guys think? I think this card is dope. A Porygon, Porygon 2, and the Porygon Z with the move Buggy Beam. 3 colorless energies. It does 80 damage, and you get to change the type of the next energy that will be generated from your opponent's energy bank. You can change it to grass, fire, water, electric, psychic, fighting, darkness, or steel. So you can change the type of energy that they're going to get. I am going to hate going up against this card. I'm going to hate going up against this card for sure. This Bidoof kind of cracks me up, dude. Have your opponent's active Pokemon's remaining HP rounded down. If you find yourself up against somebody who's got a ton of HP, like say they bring in the new Daddy Dialga, I don't even know how much HP he has, but you can throw in this tiny little Bidoof, and with 2 energies, you can take that Pokemon's HP down to half. They made Bidoof so strong, and I think they did it on purpose as part of the troll, which I approve of 100%. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a card you find there, and shuffle it into your opponent's deck. Oh, that's pretty interesting. You get to look at your opponent's hand and then pick one of their cards to shuffle back into their deck. That's pretty nice. I don't think it's worth running this stupid cat, though. Flip a coin. If heads, put your opponent's active Pokemon into their hand. Fan Rotom is cool. Regigigas. This attack does more damage equal to the damage this Pokemon has on it. So if you get this Pokemon really, really hurt, down to 20 HP, he has 120 damage on him, you could potentially do 170 damage. The Skull Fossil, pretty standard. Armor Fossil, pretty standard. And the Pokemon Communication. This is a new item card that I really, really, really like. Choose a Pokemon in your hand and switch it with a random Pokemon in your deck. You can get any Pokemon card you want out of your deck just by putting one of the Pokemon that's in your hand back into your deck. That's going to be broken. Everyone's going to be running this. Then we have the Pokemon Tools. This is the first of the 3 Pokemon Tools. Pokemon Tools are just being introduced into Pokemon Pocket for the first time with this set. The Giant Cape gets your Pokemon 20 extra HP if you throw this on top of your Pokemon. And just in case you don't know, Pokemon Tools are different than item cards or supporter cards in that you put them onto your Pokemon and then they stay attached to your Pokemon until they're taken off of your Pokemon. So you put that Giant Cape on and your Pokemon gets 20 extra HP. Then the Rocky Helmet. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, do 20 damage to the attacking Pokemon. So if you have this card on your active Pokemon, if it's hit by a move, it'll do 20 damage back to the attacking Pokemon. That's pretty nice. At the end of each turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is affected by any special conditions, it recovers from all of them and discard this card. So you put it on there if you think you're going to get poisoned or put to sleep or confused. And then if that happens, you won't be confused and you'll discard the tool. And then the Cyrus. Switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon that has damage on it to the active spot. Oh yeah, that'll work so well with the Weavile. So the Weavile does extra damage if your opponent's Pokemon has damage on it already. So you can use this Cyrus card and bring out your opponent's damaged Pokemon, put them in the active spot, and then whack them with that Weavile. Cynthia. During this turn, attacks used by your Garchomp or Togekiss do plus 50 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that means with 2 energies, the Togekiss can be doing 170 damage. The Togekiss and the Garchomp are going to be so broken with this Cynthia card, dude. Mars, your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws a card for each of their remaining points needed to win. So if they have 2 points and you use this, then they have to shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 1 card. Or if they have 1 point, they draw 2 cards. If they have no points, they draw 3 cards. Makes sense and is cool. I like it. He's getting a haircut. Honestly, dude, Pokemon seems like they're using their best illustrations for Pokemon Pocket. I cannot wait to go over these special illustration cards because some of them are super cool. I love cards that tell a story of the Pokemon, and there are so many cards in this Pocket set that do exactly that. Like this Tangrowth, you can tell he's about to get groomed up. He's about to get a bath and a haircut. Like a dog. This is how my dog Sadie looks when she's at the groomers, dude. She does go to the groomer. She has to get groomed. She's a spoiled dog. This Shaman is beautiful. Absolutely pleasant. And I'm going to love using it in my decks too. The Shaman is going to be so playable. So easy to just throw in a deck and get the healing benefits from it. So I'm glad they have this adorable artwork. I love Mamoswine and his family of little Sweenubs around him. Aww. This Shinx is so cute. And it has the move Hide. And it looks like it's hiding. Adorable. I love Shinx. This Rotom card is super nice. I love the artwork on this Rotom card. You can see all the different Rotoms. The Wash Rotom, the Heat Rotom, the Mo Rotom, and the Fan Rotom, and the other Rotom. I don't know what that other Rotom is, but you got all the Rotoms here, gang. But here is the Giratina. Dude, this card is gorgeous. I want to hit this Giratina. This thing is so sick. You can see all the Lake Spirits, Mesprit, Uxie, Azelf, all on this card. And Giratina is looking like an absolute soul stealer. Cresselia out the window. Oh my gosh. The colors on this card are insane. Ah, the Lucario and all of his fighting friends. I like how the card goes with the ability, Fighting Coach. And you can see he's coaching all of these other fighting type Pokemon around him. And Lucario is top 5 favorite Mons of all time. So, love this card too. This artwork is probably my favorite in the set. This artwork is probably my favorite in the set. Actually, the artwork is just so crazy, and Spiritomb looks so trippy. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but here in the bottom left corner, you can see the little Sinnoh sprite. You know, that's a little Sinnoh trainer, and he's obviously in shock from what he sees. It makes Spiritomb look really evil and sinister, and I think this card is sick. But I also think this Croagunk card is hilarious. This card actually makes me laugh. The Claw. He's like an alien in the Toy Story, bro. The Sleepy Garchomp. Garchomp is one of my favorite Pokemon as well. I'm glad they made a Sleepy Garchomp, dude. They got Sleepy everybody else. Why can't we get a Sleepy Garchomp, baby? This Bidoof is adorable. He's eating that wood. Oh, that's Yanmega EX full art. Gross. Don't care. I like the background on these full arts though, generally. The background on these full arts are cool. The Palkia EX. The Pachirisu EX. Love the background on that guy. A lot of full arts in this set too. We got the Cyrus full art trainer. Dude, the background on this card looks epic. They make Cyrus look epic. And the Cynthia is obviously chef's kiss. Gorgeous. And there's several of these rainbow bordered full arts. So I honestly like that. There's a lot of these. This Infernape is super dope. He's like surfing. The surfing Infernape. This Weavile is one of my faves too, honestly. Surprisingly, I wouldn't think the Weavile would be one of my favorites, but they look so evil, dude. All perched up in that tree, ready to pounce. They are about to pounce on this Swinub down here. I keep on saying they're like my favorite artworks, but dude, this artwork is crazy. Coming to, I imagine, steal the soul out of this innocent person right here. I don't know what Darkrai's about to do to this guy, but he's got a little Snorlax stuffy right here beside him. Then we got the Palkia immersive art, and I don't know, I haven't seen the animation for this, but I'm guessing it looks super cool. This card is a homage to the alternate art Palkia V from Astral Radiance. I mean, he's like in a different dimension, obviously. Nice little homage to the Astral Radiance alternate art too. It's a dope card. I feel like this one is kind of an homage to the Astral Radiance alternate art as well. The Dialga immersive art looks super cool too. I haven't seen this animation either, so I don't know. This animation could be bad, but I'm guessing it's going to be sick. And then obviously you have the two Crown Rare from this set, the Palkia EX Crown Rare and the Dialga EX Crown Rare. That's all the cards from the new Pokemon Pocket set, Space Time Smackdown. So you guys should definitely check it out. It is coming out today, January 30th. You do still have time to enter the Prismatic Evolutions poster collection giveaway in my last video. Go to my last video, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, enter to win that Prismatic Evolutions poster collection. The winner will be drawn for that on Saturday, so you have until Saturday to enter that. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.